What's up guys, it's Mike with Reptile back with another video today, and today we are doing a Reptile Room tour for October. I know I didn't do one for September, and I had a lot of messages and emails and comments on my videos saying, hey, where's the Reptile Room tour? You didn't make one this month. And I kind of wanted to do that as a test just to see if my channel is completely run off Reptile Room tours. Turns out it's not. I still have a lot of footage from BHB that I need to post, so let me know if you guys are interested in that. It's basically building the Reptarium, kind of daily progress, as well as some of the projects that we did whilst there. While I haven't actually stood in front of the camera and recorded for probably about a month, there's been a lot that has changed. As you can see behind me, a lot has changed. I've got 4 new additions, so you guys are, well, 5, but you'll meet 4 of them today. So if you guys are hyped for that, make sure you let me know in the comments down below. Maybe take a guess. Hint, they're in this cage right behind me here, so a little bit of a giveaway, but you know what? With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So this is the largest update in the room. As you can see, I've added another shelf into the room, basically another rack. It's 3 feet long, 18 inches front to back, and 72 inches high, I'm pretty sure. So it's a great rack. I'm basically using it right now, as you can see, to store my day geckos, a dart frog tank, and then my plant tanks. This corner is turned out really, really nicely. I'm super stoked with the way it manifested, and I can't wait to finish out all the tanks that I'm making and actually add them to these racks. Now, with that being said, some of you OG viewers might be wondering, where the heck did Sheldon go? And Sheldon actually ended up going down to the bottom of my very large rack. I don't know how I feel about him down there yet. Whenever I'm in the room, he basically just paces up and down the front of his box, wanting to come out because he can see me. I don't know if that would continue if I moved him up. I know he did it to a certain extent when he was up higher. I'm just going to keep my eye on it and try and figure something else out. Now that you've got a general idea of what has kind of changed in my room, I know not a lot has. Now we can actually talk about each of the animals themselves and give you an update. So as you guys can see, this is Bane's enclosure. He's doing really, really well. I'll try and get some footage and throw it over top tonight and just, you know, make a nice cohesive video with him actually appearing in it. But if you are looking for more updates on Bane and you want to follow me more closely on all my reptile adventures, make sure you follow my Instagram, because that is in the link down below. It's Graphic Phoenix 1. It is basically where I post all the updates. There's pictures of how long Bane is now and stuff like that if you scroll through my feed. So if you're interested in that, make sure you go check it out. In the meantime, Bane's tank is doing really well. The dry lock has held up really well to his kind of more abusive, abrasive style. Large gecko that tramps around in his enclosure, so super stoked with that. And the plants haven't died, which is actually great, because a lot of people preach that you can't keep live plants with leeches, and obviously that is not the case. I know Sansevieria tend to take a long time to kind of acclimate to their new tank or new surroundings, and then they start to grow from there. So hopefully in a year or 2 even, this tank will be loaded with Sansevieria, and I am super ready for that experience. I am looking forward to getting a hopefully like confirmed female juvenile that I can actually raise up and hand tame and kind of hang out. A little shout out to my buddy Dion. If you know who he is, great. If you don't, you should go check out his channel, Reptiliatus. I'll leave a link in the description down below for those of you that are interested. But his Jabba and I can't remember the other lychee he has, but his lychees are super tame, and it's really cool to see. And the tank right next to Bane is simply just a little bit of a gecko tank that I'm setting up. I still have to make the custom screen lid for it, but the tank itself is just setting up, growing, building the cleanup crew, and going from there. So it's nothing really special just yet, but I do plan to upgrade both species of day geckos I have into larger 18 by 18 by 24 enclosures, and the other one is in construction. So this one's just kind of staying there, growing in, and today I'm actually going to get plants for the new one. So now that we've covered kind of the old new rack, this is actually the new rack with everything placed on it here. And in here we have the new additions to the room. As you guys will see in a little bit, a lot of the dart frogs ended up leaving, but I ended up getting these guys as well. I sent a bunch out to one of my best friends out in Ontario. I actually decided to buy this tank as well as the frogs inside. There are currently 4 citronella So Dendrobates tinctorius citronella in here. They are eating very, very well, as you guys will see right now. And they're just super sweet display frogs. Like, look at that. Look how beautiful that is. That's why these frogs are so sweet, because they just have the nicest display. They're always super, super bold. They're always out hanging around, bouncing around their tank. And this tank is not necessarily my favorite, but it did come with the frogs, so they're being kept in here for the time being. I will end up moving them to another tank eventually. I just have to wait for a good deal to pop up on Kijiji and snag a new tank for these guys. But that's them. Those are the new additions, and yeah, they're doing fantastic. I'm super stoked about getting these guys. So some of you guys might be asking yourselves, what did Mike do? He said he was getting out of dart frogs. Why did he just buy more? And I'm not really getting out of dart frogs. I just ended up selling most of what I had. And if actually, speaking of that, if you guys are interested, I do have Ufaga Pumilio Elmerente for sale. They are 4.5, 5 months out of water now, and they're doing really, really, really well. So if you guys are in Calgary or Canada and want some frogs, I am able to ship across the country for the next couple weeks here. So hit me up on Facebook or in the comment section, and then we can try and work something out. I'll throw in a couple pictures right now so you guys can see the babies, and they're doing really, really well. So yeah, that's that's the sales pitch. But what I ended up doing is actually clearing out this tank. So I sold the Dendrobates auratus out of here, and I sold them to Hunter, like I said earlier. And then my buddy's actually going to be buying this tank from me at some point in the next couple weeks. I'm going to have to go through here and harvest some of the plants and stuff, but I do need to do a bleach dip on them because I have some flatworms. I believe they're Rancorheides sylvatica or something like that. So they're like a species of flatworm. They're not going to harm your frogs or anything, but they are kind of annoying and they will decimate a cleanup crew. So basically what I'm going to do is salvage a couple of the plants from here. I need to save this one here that I'm messing around with. This is pretty much the only one of this kind in Canada that I know of. It's a manta ray vine. And then I also really like this back there under the Selaginella here. This stuff right here. This is a super nice mini philodendron, so it stays really small and it just looks really cool. So I don't want to lose those two when I sell this tank. I am selling it to another buddy, so it's not like I couldn't be, hey man, like wanna hit me with some of the plants that I gave you. But the rest of this tank will be off to a new home in the next couple weeks here. I don't know exactly how long it'll be until he buys it, but I really like the look of it, and I'm super, super proud of this tank. The Azurius I ended up selling as well to my friend. You'll see that in the shipping video that I post in the next couple days here, hopefully. They're all gone, so that is an empty tank. What I'm planning to do with that tank is get it set up and ready to put in the Ebenevia ninguis. I imagine these guys aren't out right now. No, they're not, but they will be going into a slightly larger cage because why not? So now that we've kind of covered our dart frog updates, I do want to cover the day geckos. I do not see these guys very often, the Phelsuma laticata. I did end up selling 2 of them, but I still have Floppy and 1 other. I'm not entirely sure if they are a pair or not. They'll be going in either this tank up here or the one in the hallway. I don't know just yet. Something of important matter is the Phelsuma clemri, the neon day geckos. They're kind of shy, so they always hide whenever I walk into the room, at least right now. But you can see them there. They're both doing really, really well. They're both eating fantastically. They're both growing. They are nice and chunky now, which is awesome. And I don't know if I have a pair. I'm not really certain how to tell without them being on the glass. And I almost never see them on the glass. So kind of a bummer, but I'm just hoping that we get some fertile eggs in the next little while here. I'd say probably in the next 6 to 8 months would be mature for them. But you can see their tank here. It's pretty basic. Like I said, I will be setting up another tank for them as well. Both the day gecko species, the Phelsumas, will go up into 18-18-24. I do want to add some more branches and some windy vines and stuff like that, so that'll just take time, and I'm in no real rush to upgrade them. They're both doing really well in the habitats that they're in. Look at them. They're so cute. They're both back there, the male and the female, or the hopeful male and female pair. And down here we just have some plant tanks that I should really set up and like look after them a little bit better, because they actually do have quite a lot of like rare plants in them. Probably do that, hey? Now that we've done that, we've covered those guys, we'll finish off the last of the dart frogs here. These are my group of Ufaga pumilio elmerente. They are calling like crazy today. I don't know what got into them, but they are just going absolutely nuts. Their tank is, I don't hate it as much as I used to. I really hated this tank for quite a while, but now it's actually looking pretty okay. I can't say that I love it, but it is producing babies. Like, they're producing live offspring for me. There's one bounding around in this tank somewhere. I just don't know where at the current moment, so I'm not going to be able to show you him. But you guys can just see how incredible they look. So now that we've covered those guys, what we're actually going to do is cover Dixon. Of course he's on the back wall. Why wouldn't he be somewhere visible? Like, get some light on him there. You can see him at the back, just hanging out back there. The light is not very bright though, so he's doing well. I still am on the lookout for a female. If anybody is in Canada or even in the States and is willing to send me or talk to me about a female Europlatus gumthri, please do. I really want to find a mate for him. We'll leave it at that. If you guys have contacts or you know some people selling some, please let me know. His tank is doing really well. Cleanup crew's looking amazing. This little rubber tree here is obviously taken a turn for the worst. I don't think anything's really wrong with it. There is new growth, so I'm not too worried. And then the ficus, or the fig plant in the back, is actually growing quite a bit, so that's pretty sweet. Can't complain about that. And Dixon's doing really well. Like I said, if you guys don't see an animal in here and you want to see what they look like, or you have other questions about them or whatever, you can follow me on Instagram at GraphicPhoenix1, or just search Mike Taitula. You should come up. But yeah, I post Dixon fairly regularly. He's out and about at nighttime sometimes, and it just cracks me up. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely check out my Instagram. Now that I'm done with the shameless plug, and Dixon actually isn't really out, we can move on to Tiggo. Girly? Hello! Look at that face. Hold on, let me try it. Look at you. You look pissed. It's like, well, yeah, you just woke me out of my slumber, man. There we go. Look at Tig. She's actually making an appearance in a reptile room tour. This is nuts. She's still looking chunky as hell, as you can see there. She walks away. But her tank is doing really good. This is what I hope happens with Bane's tank, is that the Sansevieria, the snake plant here, just kind of takes off and starts growing. The African mask plant is actually doing pretty well as well. And that's really the only two plants that I have in here. I wish I had like bamboo or something. Bye, Tiggo. Good night. You can see that the snake plant grows by shoot, or runners, they call them. They'll basically just shoot out new growth tips, and it goes through. Oh, there's also a fig plant, or a rubber tree in the back here. It actually looks like it's growing, so that's good, I guess. She's doing well. She's eating. She's very chunky, and that's her tank. All natural Viv style, baby. I'm sure you've heard rummaging around this little guy. As you guys know, this is Sheldon. This is what I mean by he runs up and down the sides. So yeah, he basically will do this for like whenever I'm in the room. An hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, however long I'm in here, he'll be just running up and down. If I'm in here for that long, typically I just take him out, put him on the floor, and he runs around, eating whatever's on the floor, and then sometimes I'll throw out some food for him. But that's where he is now. He's basically on the ground, and it actually works really, really well. I think it's kind of cool walking into my room. I'm standing in the doorway now, so you just walk in and you see all this rack of tanks. You see another tank there. It's pretty sweet, if I do say so myself. But Sheldon's doing great, maintaining weight. I'm not going to weigh him. Hunter busted me and actually found my scale up right next to my desk. I'm not going to weigh him this time. I don't really expect him to be growing at all anymore. So as long as I weigh him every couple months and he's around the same weight he was, then I'm really not too worried about him at all. He gets plenty of food from mom and dad, and then I feed him mostly Missouri, just because my parents feed him all lettuce and stuff. So whenever it's my feeding, he pretty much just gets Missouri. Isn't that right, mister? He's looking super healthy. He's eating well. I guess now that we're here, this is Sky. Sky is a Maruki blue-tongued skink. We all know and love Sky. He's a very good boy. If you guys are looking for care on any of these animals, I'll leave on the screen and in the description down below a playlist of basically herp highlights that I did. So it's like 10 to 15 minutes of me going over research and care, as well as natural history of various of my animals. I believe I did Sheldon, Sky, Bowser, and I also did Striker. So I did a lot of different animals, and I hope to continue that series in the near future here. But yeah, if you guys are interested, go check that out. Sky's doing awesome. He's a little skittish. Typically I can get him out and he's totally fine, but something that I still have yet to address, and I know I'm waiting because it involves several contacts that I have that are very, very, very busy people, and I don't want to bug too much. So basically what I'm waiting to do is kind of do a reptarium theme in here, basically, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Essentially what I want to get is a all universal rock background. I don't know if I want it to wrap the sides or not, but I would kind of take whatever they're willing to make for me, with the hopes that I'm going to pimp out Sky's new tank. This is still a relatively new tank, and I still need to pimp it out for him, because as you guys know from most of my other enclosures, I really like all natural, I really like bioactive, and this tank here is an eyesore for me. Believe me. I know. When you guys call it out in the comments, you're like, oh, why don't you help Sky? I know. Believe me. Down here we have Bowser, the red Aki monitor. He's doing phenomenal. I actually did manage to cut down on his weight, so he has lost some weight, which is good. He's now a healthy weight. His gout or gout-like symptoms, at least, have more or less disappeared. And as you can see, he's got a plate full of turkey there, but he hasn't eaten it yet, so I'm a little disappointed in that. But he's in a 4x2x2, and when I'm talking deals about the universal rock backgrounds, I would also like to pimp out his new setup as well. I would like to replace most of the cork bark in here with some universal rocks that they make, and really trick it out nice for him. But unfortunately, Brian and Stuart are both very busy men, and I feel like a bit of a pest when I start to bug them about stuff that they probably don't care about. Anyways, we're getting very, very close to the end here. I really want to get a shot of these guys here. The Ebenevia and Inguis. Go up the wall. Here we go. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah, there you go. Here, let's get some light on you, though. Yeah, so that's them. Very small little creatures. Super, super cool. Super unique. I think I have 2 females, though, which kills me because I believe both have laid eggs. You might expect from a wild caught that they'd come in fertile, but unfortunately they came in infertile, or unbred at least. Yeah, he's zipping back down the wall. At least I got him on camera, though. That's kind of cool. You don't normally see these guys very often, at least on camera. But normally, when I am doing imports and stuff, that was a really painful order for me and Edgar. So I'm hoping to hit him up again, see what we might be able to work out, and then go from there. These are wild-caught imports, and I know some of you hate that, but the reality of the matter is that a lot, or pretty much every bearded dragon in North America came from wild-caught imports, and that's not legal. That's illegal. So I'm working on a long, well-researched video about wild caughts and the effect that it has on the population, the effect that it has on the pet trade, and I'm going like in depth. I'm reading research papers, I'm keeping all my references. I'm basically going to write a summary article or a review article. If you're in the scientific field and you know what that is, then you know what that is. If you're not, then don't worry about it too much. It's basically just a very, very well-informed opinion on the matter of wild caught. So I don't want to talk about it too much because it's in the middle of the video and nobody cares. They want to just see reptiles. But you know me, this is going to be like a 35-minute tour. So, yeah. We can move on to the last. This is Striker. Striker is down here currently. You can see him in the back there. Buddy. There you go. So that is Striker. He is the OG of the room. He is the oldest member of the family. I believe he'll be turning 13 or 14 in this December. So he's getting up there. He's loving life. He absolutely loves the bioactive setup that I have for him. It's honestly not entirely bioactive because I'm still looking for a really good cleanup crew to go in bioactive. But it does have some isopods as well as some springtails in the more arid part or in the more humid parts. So, yeah, it's not 100% bioactive, but it is a naturalistic enclosure, I will say, at least. And I think it looks incredible. I love how he made it his own. He basically dug out all back there, so he made a ramp so he can kind of walk up onto this rock right here. And then he dug most of the way under here to make a different hot hide, and he basically filled up his hot hide over there. So it's really cool to see their naturalistic behaviors coming out, even though he did lose his front claws and most of his back claws because I was a kid and I had no idea what I was doing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you drop a like on it and make sure you check out my Facebook, my Instagram. All the links will be in the description for you guys to go check out. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, feel free to shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram or leave them in the comment section of this video. I pretty much reply to everything, so I love to hear your feedback. For those of you guys that made it to the end, I would love to hear what kind of videos you'd like to see me make. I want to get more into making kind of less running gun videos and more well planned out educational videos. So if you have any ideas like that, definitely let me know. With that being said, if you want to see more videos like this one, make sure you click that subscribe button, as well as play Ding Dong Dish with the notification bell next to it. And thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next video. Later. Do you guys ever wonder what they think about when we open the cage to their domain and peer in with our cameras in their face? I wonder what's running through their mind right now. I don't know. If you're bored, you can write up a story in the comment section down below. Later, guys.